International environments in the field of energy and also environment. Welcome, Mr. Saurabh Kumar.
Thank you.
You will. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for joining us. And we are also joined by Miss Kelly, who is the country manager with the 3E India, which is renewable energy technology company. Welcome to this third session, Kelly.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and we are joined by Mr. Arup K. Mishra. Arup K. Mishra is the director for Assam Energy Development Agency with rich experience in the field of energy and renewable energy. Thank you so much for joining, Mr. Arup K. Mishra. Welcome to this virtual show.
Thank you very much.
And we have yet another speaker, Mr. Chintan Shah. He is the director for the technical and financial with the Indian Renewable Energy Development Agency. Welcome, Mr. Chintan Shah.
Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon.
My name is Sudhir Kaushal. I'm the Senior Assistant Editor and Bureau Head with the Elets Technomedia. And we are also joined by Dr. Ravi Gupta, who is the founder and CEO with the Elets Technomedia. Welcome to the third session, Dr. Ravi Gupta. A while ago, we were in the inaugural session. We were joined by Mr. Ajay Mishra, Special Chief Secretary. He was willing to join this session as well. We would join that. Maybe there was because of some technical hit. He's trying to reconnect us back. So this particular session is all about the significance of renewable energy and advanced technology in this time of Corona crisis. I would request Mr. Saurabh Kumar, who is an expert in this field of energy, and I've seen him talk a lot about. Can you please give your initial views on this?
Oh, okay. Just a logistic question that may I request all other speakers to please put your mic off so that noise is reduced. Yeah. And request Saurabh Kumarji to kindly give your keynote of the other session. Yeah.
Dr. Gupta, Mr. Sudhir, distinguished panelists, first of all, it's a great pleasure to be in this virtual seminar, and I think it's a very important topic that has been picked up. And I think the relevance of renewable energy as well as smart grids and smart utilities is perhaps more relevant in these times than ever before. And I'll tell you why. For two reasons. One is something that we have found practical aspects of it. We are doing smart meters in UP and Haryana. I'll take the case of UP, where we have almost 1 million meters which have been installed. During the COVID times, 95% of those meters we have been able to provide accurate billing to the consumer, and almost 90% of that has been collected through online payment mechanism. You look at the statistics of non-smart meters in UP, 71% of bills have been provisional. The collection is down to almost zero. So that is the promise of smart meters. That is number one. Number two, in UP and in Haryana and also in the NDMC area of Delhi, the average increase in revenue per month per meter is 300 rupees. Now, this is something of very, very significant when we are talking about losses, when we are talking about enormous amounts of financial stress that the utilities are facing today. And we understand that a very large package is on the anvil, something of the order of 90,000 crores. This is not the first package that has come. In the last 20 years, there are at least 3 or 4 such packages which have come. So let me focus my attention on two aspects which I feel are fundamental to really, if you want to get this sector towards commercial viability. Two things. One is the billing efficiency that we have in the country, in terms of if I sell 100 units of electricity, how much do I bill? Look at the CA's reports. It's 83%. Just take that 17%, multiply by the number of units that are sold every single year. You come to a colossal figure of 200 billion units. Multiply this just by a 5 rupee per unit of cost of supply. It's 1 lakh crores, nearly 14 to 15 billion US dollars that you never build. There's no question of collection.
Bilkul, perfect.
Good afternoon. I see Mr. Ajay Mishra has just joined. Sir, it's always a pleasure to interact with you. The second thing which I wanted to bring to your kind attention is the agriculture subsidy. And let me just give you numbers which are as per the economic survey. 90,000 crores, nearly 12 billion US dollars is the subsidy that the state governments give for agriculture consumption across the country. This subsidy is given at a nominal rate of 4 rupees 25 paisa. Look at we have compiled a list of 7-8 states which are high on agriculture consumption. The average cost of supply to agriculture is upwards of 6.5 rupees, which means even that 90,000 crores does not give you enough to recover your cost. So my thing is to what we are doing in Maharashtra, and I'm glad that we have the Special Chief Secretary of Telangana and also UP NEDA, Assam Energy Renewable Development Agency. What we are doing in Maharashtra and what we are proposing to them is what I'm going to talk about here. So Maharashtra has nearly about 40 lakh agriculture connections. They are one of the highest in the country as far as the agriculture consumption is concerned. Their subsidy bill is rising at about 10 to 15% every single year. And as I mentioned, as per the last regulatory commission order, their cost of supply to agriculture is 7 rupees 48 paisa. The state government gives them subsidy at a rate of 3 rupees per unit. So 4 rupees 48 paisa is uncovered losses. Some of it gets recovered through cross subsidy, but most of it is lost. What we are doing there is we are putting together decentralized solar plants right at the substation level, where the land has been given by the distribution company and other gram panchayats for right to use without charging any rent on it. We are providing them agriculture power, solar power at 3 rupees per unit for 25 years, which is exactly equal to the subsidy that they receive from the state government. And so far, we have done 100 megawatts installation. We are on course to do about 1,000 megawatt again this year. Number two, what we are proposing, there is a host of rural infrastructure that also is serviced by MSEDCL. And by the way, MSEDCL is the largest distribution company in the country. For example, public lighting. The state has close to 1.5 million public lights. The tariff that is given by the regulatory commission for these lights is 5 rupee 51 paisa per unit. Again, I'm going back to the fact that the cost of supply in rural areas is 7 rupees 48 paisa. What we are proposing is the following. We have these land where we are putting small substations, solar power stations between half a megawatt to about 10 megawatt, depending upon the size of land. There is enough space to keep a battery system also there. What we are proposing to them that at a tariff of 3 rupees 87 paisa per unit for 25 years, I can I can replace all the street lights, the gram panchayat lights with energy efficient solar lights. B, I will provide them peak power at 3 rupees 87 paisa, which is a clean and a peak stored power in the evening. Remember, I said 5 rupees 51 paisa is what they get tariff from the street lights. rural street lights, and there are 1.5 million of them. It's not a small amount. Almost 700 million units is consumed by these lights. As of now, they are losing about 80 to 90 crores by supplying lights to these gram panchayats. They can actually turn this around at a 3 rupee 87 paisa power to a profit. So what I wanted to say that these two problems that we have in the sector, and it's a legacy problem, and these two need to be plugged. This is the right time, given whatever we have seen in the COVID era. It is the right time for us to be slightly more innovative. We have to be slightly more open about things, and renewable energy and clean energy is certainly the way to go. And this is what I would like to indicate. We would like a state level consensus of doing these kind of projects, where we as ESL would be ready to invest the entire resources that is needed for solar plus battery. And battery, once you have battery, there are enormous number of other use cases that you can build in. Energy arbitrage is one of them, for example. So this is what I would say, and I would like to thank Dr. Gupta and Mr. Gautam. I think we need to start talking about how do we make sure the renewable energy and storage becomes a reality. And one last point, we just heard that around-the-clock solar power was bid out, 400 megawatt. The price has come to 2 rupee 90 paisa. Well, that is not 2 rupee 90 paisa because it escalates 3 to 4% every single year for the first 15 years. That tariff is also, if you look at the tariff, levelized tariff, is very close to 370, 380 paisa that we are offering to Maharashtra as of now. So with this, let me stop, and once again, I'll be open to any questions or comments next time.
I would request the other speakers to please switch off their mics. If there is some sort of. We are also joined by our Special Chief Secretary of Telangana. I think we have lost him again, once again. Sri Ajay Mishra ji, the Special Chief Secretary, he was here. However, we might take him again. Before that, I would request Mr. Vijay Shah, who is the Director Technical and Finance with the IREDA, to please give his comments on the significance of renewable energy and technology, advanced technology in this period of corona crisis and also the post-COVID era.
Thanks, Sudhir. Good afternoon, everyone. And thanks for inviting me for this webinar. Actually, Saurabh stole most of my topics today. But anyway, let me try to do something very different. Hi, Saurabh. So one thing that COVID has proved is the economy has been moving accordingly because of work from home. And work from home has become something like a norm today. Importantly, many people realize work from home got possible only because of two things, telecom and electricity. So if you did not have the telecom and electricity, the work from home would have been just a dream. So, and you would have a much bigger disaster than 1918 Spanish flu that everybody knows. So two things comes out from COVID is work from home culture is likely to continue in the future. Plus, if any such pandemic may come or national disaster can come, you will have to get into a lockdown. That also means that one has to now design the telecom and the energy sector on a different manner. We've been designing a conventional way is that you have a 150 gigawatt of demand, you put up 160 gigawatt of power plants. However, now it is going to go on redundancy instead of a demand. So that means both telecom will require larger spectrum as well as you require more spinning reserve and more localized power generation facility because you will try to design your system for redundancy. So in other words, the requirement for power generation is going to go up. It's not now a function of consumption. It's now a function of redundancy. So obviously when you have to put up new power projects, and as Saurabh Reddy pointed out, we have the round-the-clock power from solar coming at 2 rupees 90 paisa with an escalation. That means you will require, if you have to put up power generation for a redundancy purpose, the fastest way is to do renewables. So you will see a huge amount of demand created for renewables because of redundancy, not because of anything else. And renewables also allows you to generate near the source of the load. That means you don't have to draw long transmission lines, centralized power projects. No, this is something which is yesteryears now. Now, for economically speaking, it makes a great sense to build a large power plant at a particular place, draw transmission line, and meet the load centers. But this is bad for redundancy. Redundancy, you require radial feeding. That means you need to generate power near the source. That's what's going to happen. So something a very up for renewables as well as telecom, because you require a telecom infrastructure also. Because this is the need of the day. One more thing that would come up, which is something like learning from the COVID, is COVID also created one thing, that international boundaries got sealed, interstate boundaries got sealed. So the movement of goods was very limited to essential services. However, in future, what would happen is you will either create more inventory at a localized level, or you will push local manufacturing, so that in case of a local lockdown or a redundancy, you are still able to serve the market. So there are two major learnings that are coming from the COVID. And IREDA has been financing renewables. We'll keep on doing it. And we know it a lot. And yes, one thing that is coming up now is the round-the-clock power, which is at 2 rupees 90 paisa. The entire economics changes. You actually have now more or less reached a grid parity, because a thermal project would cost you something around 4 rupees 50 paisa on a levelized basis. Now, renewables at one particular 400 megawatt is going to cost you at 2 rupees, 3 rupees 57 paisa to be more precise. And if you move forward, you will have more round-the-clock power. And because of redundancy, it would actually create a bigger market. That's all I had to share right now, because I think it's high time the power sector guys also need to make some noise. That we are also we are also responsible for successful work from home. Because without electricity, even this webinar that you're doing would have been futile, isn't it? You're using a telecom, we are using a platform, but without electricity, nothing is possible. Something which is back of the mind, very important. More importantly, all the power systems and telecom systems have been functioning pretty fine, but they were never designed to take so much of load. Now you have to redesign everything. Also, you have a redesign of transmission system, because gone are the days of long transmission lines. No. Obviously, on a medium to the short-term basis, there's going to be cost escalation. Because when you go for decentralized power, the cost goes up. But for redundancy, I think it's very important. So that's how I had to share right now. Nothing much. Otherwise, other things I think Saurabh covered. On the power sector side, the 90,000 crore package, we are all looking forward to as bankers. Once RE dues gets created, paid by the DISCOM, or the thermal power dues gets cleared by the DISCOM, at least as bankers, we'll have more thing to finance. And with a renewed interest on renewables, we were actually surprised when the bids started coming for renewables in spite of COVID. That means there is a interest for renewables. The interest is still continuing. The traction is there. But I think we just have to put our things together to make it happen. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Chintan Sahu, for putting out that perception. And now I would request Mr. Dr. Arup Kumar Mishra, who is the director for Assam Energy Development Agency with the government of Assam, to put forward his perception of significance of renewable energy and also the technologies in this period of Corona crisis. Dr. Arup Kumar Mishra.
Microphone person. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. But
this is just a brief introduction about the organization. Earlier, that energy division of the Science Technology Council was carved out as Assam Energy Development in 2002. We have a very small, compared to big states of the country where these agencies have got, state agencies have got a lot of employees. Our numbers are really very small. So, can you hear?
yeah. Yes, we can hear you, Mr. Arup.
Recently that we have got for grid connected SPVs of 1.6 megawatt recently. Assam is a very small state. places are highly scattered. In spite of that, we are trying to aggregate demands and create demands. And last year, ADA installed 5.5 megawatt grid-connected rooftop solar in domestic, institutional, social sector, out of which 5.4 was the MNRE subsidy. These are some of the pictures. I can skip here because these are the plans of Guwahati Medical College. The largest plant we have got 500 kilowatt in the GMC Medical College, which is now fully COVID-19 center. Wind energy also at 25, 50 and 80 meter heights. We have got about roughly 27 numbers of stations, monitoring stations with Navy, Chennai. And in some places of Assam, we are finding very good portability, especially the riverine areas, which you call shore areas, and the hill districts of Assam. There is plenty of demand for this wind energy. So, besides that, improved chula, we have distributed 8,000 improved chulas in rural areas, very, very remote areas in tea gardens of Assam, where we have found a good response. And we are sure that this is the thing. So under Eco Estate project, we have installed last year, and then second phase is now going on. In Assam Raj Bhavan, Governor's House, we have gone for this type of projects, solar TV street light and water heating systems. So the Governor of Assam, he is very keen that his entire complex with about 170 families and households in the entire complex staying there should all come under the renewable energy. Not a single unit of conventional fossil-based power should be used. This is the Raj Bhavan, Governor House, some snapshots. So right now we are starting this after a little bit of lockdown has been now removed in some places, and we are in the Guwahati is in the green zone right now. We have started the 8 megawatt grid connected rooftop solar scheme with 70% subsidy. We are also having a very unique project out here. 2 years back, we had implemented one 10.5 kilowatt floating solar power plant in a rural area of Assam, which is found to be very handy. With an organization, Indian-based engineer organization in Singapore, One Solar, we have organized this matter. Our Honorable Chief Minister was really very happy to see this plant running good. So he has given us 10 more sanctions, and we are going to now, as soon as the mobility increases and people can go, we're going to install 10 more stations of this nature. This is the floating roof solar plant at Bhurbanda, Morigaon district, near Guwahati. So in the post-COVID work plan, we are trying to install as many as possible this rooftop solar because this has got a lot of promise in Assam, and with the improving materials, improving modules, the efficiency is found to be quite high in some places. And last year, whatever 290 odd customers we have had, their feedback is positive. So I'm very hopeful about all these things. And Assam Solar Energy Policy in 2017 was given, where ADA, our agency, has been given the responsibility of implementing, executing non-conventional demonstration projects, community awareness programs, and research projects, which are isolated and not connected to the grid under the policy. Also, ADA should be state agency for accreditation of the solar projects under REC mechanism. This is the exact wording which I have putting from the energy policy of Assam. And we are a part of it. Now, if you go at the vision of energy 2030, which is relevant to what we are talking now, this was drafted before the COVID, but you can see 10% increase in share of renewable energy in state energy mix by 2030, 40% increase in renewable power generation capacity by 2030, and 30% vehicle population of non-diesel, non-petrol vehicles by 2030. These are indeed very green measures, I suppose. And now a lot of countries have come up with their energy vision plans. Offhand, I can think about South Korea, which has 70%, they're thinking 70% green energy post-COVID. And there is a lot of apprehension. Sometimes I meet my friends in DISCOM, in MNRE, other states. They say that if this big thermal power stations and other things will go, people will lose job. But if you look at Great American Recession of 2009, their entire recovery mission plan in America had shown that In fact, if you go for decentralized power or renewable energy in a large scale, all sorts of mixed basket of renewable energy, then it is the other way around. More jobs are created in REs than your conventional sector. One thing which I would like to flag here, my illustrious speakers Saurabhji and Chintanji have already flagged very important issues. One more thing I would like to emphasize here, as the middle class is now becoming fat and fatter every day in the country, and we all own a car, in these circumstances, public transport is becoming very important. So I do not know whether we can come to the California level of 1 million cars in a very short time, but at least public transport, public trains, local trains, your public buses, even some vehicles which people can afford now, it should go on renewable energy, clean energy, so that the pollution level comes down. So specifically, 10% of minimal energy for self-generation for high and medium voltage customer is a very important thing we are looking at now. As I mentioned in the first slide itself, we are a very small group of people, only few engineers, few technical people, but AIDA is pretty well known and well accepted by the population of Assam. And I hope that we will be able to do something with the 2030 energy vision of the state. And whatever MNRE is giving us, we are trying to go by that. So thank you very much. This is I use the sun to save the earth. My good friend Mrinal, who is additional director, is very fond of this slide. Always in our presentation, we end up with this slide. And in future, when the other people will speak, I will be definitely able to participate. For the time being, these are the points I like to flag. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Arup Kumar, for showing those presentation. We are also joined by a very eminent person in the field of energy, Mr. Subhash S. Dumreji. He is the Director General, Maharashtra Energy Development Agency with the Government of Maharashtra. Welcome, Subhashji, to this virtual energy summit. And due to some technical error, the name is not visible clearly on. It's mentioned as Harshal. We welcome Mr. Subhash Dumreji, Director General, Maharashtra Energy Development Agency. Subhaji, can you hear us? Hello. Hello. Subhaji. It looks like there is some technical setup being done.
सर हेलो सर, वो फोन नहीं आया सर उसका। अजय आप नंबर एसएमएस कर दीजिए, बात कर लेता हूँ सर उसमें। ठीक।
I would request Subhash ji, I think there is some technical hitch out there. So I would request, we are also joined by Mr. Yogesh Kumar. He is the General Manager with the Department of Energy, Government of Uttar Pradesh. Yogesh Kumar is Nodal Officer, especially focusing on smart meters. Welcome, Yogesh ji.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah.
Myself, Yogesh Kumar. I am looking after the smart meter of UP, Nodal Officer of UPPCL.
Yeah. So, Yogesh ji, please give your view on the significance of technology in the times of Corona crisis.
Exactly. In this period, Corona period, it is very useful technology because in this technology, no one have to go to site for meter reading. That's why it is very important. But there is technical issues that we have to resolve as far as technological concern. Main concern in this main concern is coming that the GPRS signals at various places is issuing the column for reading purposes. Second issue is that we can read the meter, we can generate the bill, but there is the collection part that is we are lagging very badly in the COVID period. So we have to educate our consumers to pay through online, through various modes of online methods, so that the revenue collection, the second part of the smart meeting, which is lagging today in the COVID period, must be improved. As per technology concerned, smart meter is very useful in COVID period, because one person who is going for reading for every month to the consumers per message is available through this technology. So it is the however, we have to install in mass scale smart metering. In UP, we have installed 10 lakh smart meters at various towns. That is working very successfully. However, there is some issues which we are tackling through ESL and L&T counterpart. So in future, it is the must that we have to install all meter as a smart meter, so that the readings of the all smart reading part can be easily maintained. As far as issues of smart meter per month that we are taking, that in the last month from the starting of COVID period, as per essential issues, that the meter supply, no supply, this type of complaint we have received. Approximately to in out of 10,000, we have find that out of 10 lakh installed meters, we have found issues in only 2,500 meters. This type of issues, that is no supply type issues. This is very negligible, 0.25%. So we have to go in future for smart metering with various technologies. We are using in UP GPRS technology. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Yogesh ji, for that input for this thing. So now we will move on to our next speaker, who would be giving us the perspective of significance of advanced technology, including IoT and and other emerging technologies. I would request Kelly Momois to please give your perception, and I think Kelly has a presentation.
Yes. Yeah, I will share a presentation. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible, Kelly.
Yeah. Okay. So 1 minute. Can you see my screen?
I can't see your screen.
Are you seeing my presentation?
No, we are able to see you, but not the presentation.
Hello.
Yes, I'm trying to.
You guys want to बोल Yes, is my.
Hello. Are you seeing it now?
No, Kelly, we could see but it went off again. I think you need to put that presentation once again.
I see it on my screen. Are you seeing it now? No.
We could see in a while ago. Yes, now we can see your screen. Yeah.
But can you see my presentation?
Yes, we can see your presentation.
Okay. All right. I'm based in Hyderabad, Telangana state. But because of the COVID, I went back to my home country. So I'm in Belgium right now. But I'm 4 years, almost 5 years in India. And I'm heading there the 3E India company. We are a company in renewable energy, in consulting and software services. So I'm audible, huh?
You're audible.
Yeah. Okay, then I continue. Okay, so what I think COVID is giving an opportunity for digitalization. So that digitalization was already ongoing, but I think with COVID right now, everything is going faster. And our company is offering technology for that digitalization, and we offer that in solar and wind. I just give you a brief presentation of who we are. So we are a Belgian-based company, and we are there since 1999, and we are in India as a private limited since 2019, with also a team of more than 10 people and rapidly expanding. This is our customers base that we have. So, for example, in India, we have Renewable Power and we have IKEA as our customers.
Yes, sir, definitely.
Yeah. So we are in solar and wind and grids and storage. And then, of course, also in the monitoring of the performance of solar and wind parks. And also we're doing pilots on grids. So we are very much into R&D. And then I want to show you what we did in solar. So in solar, we guided IKEA to get the best use of their roof and put the best solar system. And then for Renewable Power, we are a partner in their digitalization journey. So all their solar and wind assets are on one platform. That is the Synapse platform. And with this platform, so we monitor the performance and we continuously looking to performance optimization with advanced algorithms and connection with satellite data. And we see that was also in the previous session, this digitalization journey, also in the times of COVID, when it is difficult to have many people on site, this can really improve your business processes. Then if you have, I hear that India is very keen in having more renewable energy. There's also a way to really visualize that all over India, where we are right now with the solar systems there and the satellite irradiation data.
Kelly, sorry to interrupt you, but we can see the screen of your presentation, but the slides are not moving. It's still in the first slide.
Okay, that's a pity. Okay, I went over a few slides already. Okay. I don't know. I think this is a technical issue, but okay.
Yeah, now it's moving. Now it's moving. Yeah.
What do you see? This Synaptic?
The 10th slide, solar portfolio management software.
Yes. So this is what Renew Power is using. So this is a platform that you can use in your digitalization journey for your solar and wind assets. And we really believe if you capture all the data, if you apply analytics, that you can really come to performance optimization, energy market integration, and business process integration. So with the use of technology, you can make big steps. And we had before the issue of financing. So there are partnerships between the European Union and India. There's a clean energy partnership. And there is now a call going on promoting energy islands. And I hear everybody here is very enthusiastic on putting more renewable energy in their state. And we are in touch, as myself, I'm based in Hyderabad. I'm in touch with Mr. Ajay Mishra, and we are there working on a concept to make Telangana state a lighthouse region, where we actually build energy communities that are self-providing and are integrating or interacting with the grid. So working on possibilities for a smart grid and building awareness on renewable energy. So this is what we're working on. So this was in brief what my company is working on, and you can always reach me.
Thank you very much, Kelly, for the presentation. So I would, before moving further, I would request Mr. Saurav Kumar, Managing Director for Energy Efficiency Services Limited. Can you tell us about the advanced technologies and the emerging technologies that are being used in the field of energy, Saurav Kumar, especially in your organization?
Okay, just a couple of them related to smart meters. Number one, on the communication front, we are seeing a new what is called new band IoT, Internet of Things. This is a specialized band. Right now, we are using, as Mr. Yogesh said, we are using GPRS network, but this has been now allowed. It's a specific data-only band, which will provide a much better, at the moment also 97% reliability is what we are getting, but possibly with NB-IoT, and we have started to use this in Bihar, and we also plan to use a similar thing in UP and Haryana. That's number one. Number two, we have engaged with a US-based artificial intelligence and machine learning company. In the smart meter, we have data for every 15 minutes of the consumer. So they have developed certain tools which can actually provide with some sort of AI and machine learning without any intrusive instrument into a consumer's home. It could provide details as to what is the vintage of your equipment that you're using. It would also provide what is your consumption as compared to your peers of equivalent home sizes around you. This would help consumers to understand what is it that they can do to manage their electricity bills. The third very important point that we are doing in UP and elsewhere wherever we are installing, if you look at the sector for hundreds of years, consumer was never at the center of electricity generation. I mean, you and I have gone through this. If there is an outage, if there is my voltage levels are low, I don't have a way to figure out why it is done, because the sector has been designed in a manner that consumer is never a consumer. I mean, it's never focused on consumer. With the smart metering technology and the machine learning and artificial intelligence, we are trying to put consumer back into the focus. Consumer has, through a mobile app that we have created, has information about his own load, his or her own load every 15 minutes. He can compare and see how much did he spend energy consumed maybe yesterday, last month, last year. So using better communication technologies, analyzing data, using data analytics and big data, we are going to provide all this information to the consumers. Also, to the utilities, where they can manage the load and seamlessly integrate renewable energy. And let me give you an example as to how this can be done. Time of day metering. We know the renewable energy generation happens maximum in the afternoon time. If there is a time of day metering where the afternoon tariffs are lower than morning or evening, I can shift my non-essential load as a consumer to those the afternoon time. For example, very simple, my dishwashing, my washing machine. So it will help in seamlessly integrating renewable energy. We are seeing a lot of problems of offtake of renewable energy. That will possibly go away once we have this real-time management of grid. So it provides so much of benefits to the consumers, to the distribution utilities, to the power producers, including the renewable energy producers. So this is what I would say moving forward is what we are planning to do as far as our smart meter work is concerned.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Saurabh. So, in addition to
Hello.
that, could you, how do you see, since you
Hello.
are like, the next
नमस्कार
session
जी
has this
आपका
subject,
मिल गया जी
but we would like to know, like,
नहीं वही तो उसमें बस
what would be the
अभी वो
future
करके
of
भेज दूंगा जी CS
the
by
electric
CM
vehicles in the coming
नहीं
days?
CS
Look again.
मिनिस्टर by CM ना
All these extraordinary times bring out. It's not everything is bad. I mean, one good thing that has come out of this pandemic. I mean, I'm not saying that this should continue. Is the very clean environment that all of us see around us, whichever part of the world that we are staying in. Now, how do we kickstart and make sure that we create? Don't disturb this equilibrium to a large extent. Of course, renewable energy and clean energy. It is possible. It can be done. We have seen the round-the-clock power to be 90 paisa. I just mentioned that we are proposing to Maharashtra that we will give them peak power stored through solar at rates which are much less than the peak power rates that they are currently. So, we need a very strong push towards clean energy. B, electric vehicles. Electric vehicles provide twin things. A, of course, there is no air pollution. As your grid becomes greener, you are consuming a greener power, which is what is going to happen with the electric vehicle. Third, you get insulated from oil shocks that may happen post-COVID suddenly when the demand rises. And fourth, even if we forget about the environment, the country for a moment, for a user like you and me, driving an electric car is 1/5 the cost of petrol and diesel cars. So, and if you look at the life cycle, oft repeated it is said that look, the cost of vehicle is very high. If you are using the vehicle for 50 to 70 kilometers per day, you recover the additional cost in 3 years' time. And remember, petrol diesel cost will only go up. Most of the states, thanks to the leadership of people like Mr. Mishra here and Power Ministry, they have special tariffs for electric vehicle charging. I think that is a way to make use of it. We have the chance to correct ourselves, to make sure that the environment norms that we have got accidentally, we must do whatever to preserve this. I have a feeling electric vehicles will play a very, very large, important role in terms of transportation and at some point in time as storage, because ultimately these are also batteries, very large scale batteries. As the numbers grow, you can store renewable energy in electric vehicles, which can again go back to the grid in the evening as peak power. So it has multiple use cases, and I'm sure as we move ahead, as we get forward with the kind of good policies that the center and the states are coming out with, this will be an era of clean energy and clean transportation.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Saurabh. We cannot see Ajay Mishra ji, the Special Chief Secretary, but sir, can you hear us? Ajay Mishra, sir? Hello? Hello? I think there is a technical hitch, but I would request Dr. Arup Kumar Mishra. Dr. Arup Kumar Mishra.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, please give me your inputs before we are going to end this session in next few minutes. I would request to give your inputs, the final remarks on the technology front and the renewable energy front post-COVID.
Post-COVID is definitely going to be, as all speakers have already agreed upon, post-COVID is going to be different. The way we are organizing this meeting, more and more number of such national level, international level conferences, meetings, seminars will be now done in totally like digital form. It will be totally like webinars. And this is a very big thing we are going to change we are going to have. A lot of less travel, a lot of less exchequers money being spent. For a state like Assam, which is already supposed to be quite green, hilly, and pristine, with so many, national parks and sanctuaries, our problems are very peculiar. compared to what my illustrious friends have spoken from other states of India, our problems are very, very peculiar. So we are looking at small scale local solution wherever possible, maybe pico, nano, micro, hydel projects, maybe possible floating solar project, rooftop solar is coming up in a big way. So solar energy is going to be our next mantra for next 5 years, at least for 5 years. Solar energy is going to be our mantra, and for that, whatever technology upgradation is possible, we'll do. Assam, like electricity, our APDCL, power distribution company, DISCOM, they already installed some smart meters, I am told, to some high-end customers, industries and high-end customers. But it's not in general. We are still having the electronic meters. So in that sense also, we have to go a big way. And already I have shown you my slide presentation, how at least 10% renewable share, 30% transport share with non-fossil fuel, non-petrol, non-diesel fuel. Those things are going to be our priorities. And Assam Energy Development Agency, with the help of its strategic partners, we are all going to, in a big way, we're going out. I can see the chief of EESL also out here, Saurabh. We have last year had 2 MOUs, Saurabh, for a huge amount of large number of solar street lights and solar lanterns, solar lamp for our purpose. So I will just briefly flag off that renewable energy has to be taken up more vigorously. As far as possible, public transportation systems should be promoted. And wherever food security is a big thing, I missed that point in my first spell. In Assam, we have places where huge amount of produced fruits and vegetables are wasted because there is no cold storage. Only a couple of cold storage chains have come up now. Ada also is part of 2 of these installations last year. So we would like to now go for a good supply chain and good cold storage chain wherever the production is done in the remote areas. And this is going to play a big role in greening the force. So the most positive lesson that we have learned from this post-COVID scenario is that we have to think green, go green. It's very wishful thinking that after this modern life starts, we'll again go back to the original condition like the COVID era. It is not going to happen. How much reduction we can do, that target each and every society, every country has to fix up. So thank you very much, Elets Technomedia. My points I have already spoken. You can pick up from that itself.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Dr. Arup Kumar Mishra, for joining us. And we are also being joined by, if you wish to be there for a while, we are being also, I would request, we are being joined by Mr. Balakiran, who is the Chief Executive Officer, is an IAS officer of 2008 batch. He's being joined. He would talk on the e-mobility, electric vehicle, and the clean and green energy in the urban landscape. I would request.
Actually, I would have loved to hear Mr. Ajay Mishra, Special Chief Secretary Telangana, if possible. He's not there, I suppose. Not connected.
I think there is some disconnection and
technical hitch, maybe.
Technical issue.
Please carry on. Till I can sit, I have got some visitors also there.
Yes.
Tomorrow our entire office complex will be sanitized by professional agencies. So I'm slightly busy on those matters. Anyway.
Okay. Yes, sir. Thank you.
First we can.
So, meanwhile, Mr. Yogesh ji.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, especially smart meters front, you have talked about now. What is the procurement you're looking at in terms of the smart meters, and to what extent the smart meters, as you mentioned, the technology is being used? Is there also a command and control or some sort of technology where all these things get monitored?
Yeah, all things is monitored at central level at Lucknow.
Okay.
Procurement is done through ESL because we have the agreement with ESL on OPEX model. So procurement is done by ESL. Rest, all monitoring is done at central level, Lucknow.
Okay, okay. And what is the procurement you see further, and the demand and supply condition situation in Uttar Pradesh?
Exactly. Procurement, as far as procurement, there is the only limited manufacturers of smart meters. That's why there may be some issues if we install the meter at full swing, because we are the maximum meter supply is we are getting through Genus. Other companies meter supply are ITI, but there was some issue, so they are not supplying presently. One company, Gen meters, this is the MSME, and other very small companies. So one major company that is manufacturer is Genus. So, as far as presently, there is no big issue of supply of meters.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Yogesh. We are joined by a special guest of ours from the state of Kerala, from Thiruvananthapuram. Welcome, Mr. P. Balakiran, CEO for Thiruvananthapuram Smart City, and also the director for Urban Kerala Urban Service Limited. And Mr. Balakiran is also the director for Kerala Tourism. Welcome, Mr. Balakiran.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Sir, we would like to, since our topic of discussion is on the e-mobility, the clean and green energy, and the electric vehicle in the urban landscape. You're heading the Thiruvananthapuram Smart City, and you're also have served as in many key positions in the urban sector. Can you please tell us about what is happening in Thiruvananthapuram in terms of electric mobility and also the EV infrastructure?
Thank you very much for inviting me to this session, and I'm having a great time. I believe I'll be having a great time with you all, speaking on the very important issue of electric vehicles and e-mobility. Coming to the Smart City Trivandrum project, as we have discussed earlier in another webinar, for us, e-mobility and energy security and non-renewable energy, renewable energy has been a very, very important topic for us. And right from the conception stage itself, in the Smart City project, we have taken up this component very, very seriously. So we have done both. We have incorporated both the electric vehicles and also solar energy projects, and also rainwater harvesting. Coming to the electric vehicles project, what we have done is we have taken up two components. One is e-rickshaws and e-autos. We have gone for tender last year, and we have got electric rickshaws vendor on board, and also electric autos on board. So both e-rickshaws and e-autos will be plying on Trivandrum Smart City in very, very short time. In fact, they were ready to be delivered just before the corona hit our country, and that's where the delay has been. But immediately after the lockdown is lifted, and once the transportation of project components take place, we believe that both of these can be plying on Trivandrum Smart City roads very, very quickly. Yes.
Yeah. So besides that, we would also like to know about the current, to what extent the renewable energy, be it solar or other components of renewables, are being used in the smart city.
Yeah, in the smart city area, especially in the 9 watts of ABD area of smart city, okay, Trivandrum Corporation has 100 watts, and 9 watts are coming under the ABD area. So these 9 watts, what we have done is we have called for consent from various government buildings where we can put up the solar energy plants. And to our positive fortune, all five of the main important buildings have come on board, which is basically the Legislative Assembly Complex, Government College, Central High School, Central Library, and University Library building. So these five buildings will be installed with the solar energy plants, which will have a cumulative capacity of 607.5 kilowatt. And these will be this. In fact, the tender is already complete. The work has already begun. We believe that this work also can be completed this year itself in 2020. And once it is completed, apart from the domestic usage of the generated solar power, we believe that we can give back to the KECB, Kerala State Electricity Board electricity grid as well. We'll be able to give some power back to the electricity board is what we intend to achieve. And these projects are very, very prestigious for us because, as you know, solar energy is being given great encouragement by both central government and the state government. And we believe in smart cities. We should most of the smart cities are taking up such projects, and Trivandrum Smart City is also coming up with solar energy development in these five designated locations. Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. And Mr. Balakiran, we would also like to know if you can throw some light on how is the power management being done, though it is your role is within Thiruvananthapuram. Can you throw some light on how is it's being managed and the demand and power supply that happens in the state?
I think Kerala is a energy sufficient state. In fact, we supply energy to other states as well. The electricity distribution and the transmission is done by Kerala State Electricity Board, which is stationed, of course, in Trivandrum. And they have coming up with various innovative measures, not just in development of generation of efficient electricity, but also successful transmission. In fact, when I was IT mission director, and even now, the present IT mission is closely tying up with the State Electricity Board for distribution of optical fiber lines over the electricity lines. The project is called K-Phone project, which is one of the prestigious projects of the government of Kerala, wherein we believe in fact, we have made the internet as a fundamental right last year. Based on that, we believe that using the KCB transmission lines, we can take the optical fiber to all the households in Kerala very, very soon. And that also is helped by Kerala State Electricity Board. And Kerala State Electricity Board has been generating hydro electricity. In fact, that is our prime mode of electricity generation. And we are in touch with them in innovative technologies also. In fact, Smart City project, we are in touch with Kerala State Electricity Board and also Enert Kerala. Enert is a government agency which specializes in the non-conventional energy resources. In fact, they are coming up with a very, very ambitious project wherein electric vehicles will not only be plying the state of Kerala, but also they are setting up a lot of EV charging stations across north and south of Kerala. In fact, within Smart City also we are tying up with them to install electric vehicle charging points within the state. So we believe all these measures will put us in good stead in the coming days.
Okay, wonderful for taking us through the electricity scenario in the state of Kerala. You are also the director for Kerala Urban Service Delivery project, which is supported by the World Bank. And now it is being full-fledgedly converted into a waste management project. Now there is also about waste to energy process that happens. The energy is also generated from the waste. To what extent do you see that is happening in Thiruvananthapuram or other parts of Kerala?
I don't have the details with me right now, but the waste to energy plants work has already started in Kerala. I think under the leadership of the Chief Secretary, Shri Tom Josar himself. I think the process of tendering and implementation is going on in various places in Kerala. We hope that will also kickstart in this year.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. We have come to end of our this summit, National Energy Summit, that is on. Since morning we had a wonderful session and experts were there from various sectors from across the country, even from Belgium and Europe. We had Mr. Ajay Mishraji, who's the Special Chief Secretary, joining us and talking about various scenarios, and also EESL, I think Mr. Saurabh Kumar. We are joined by Dr. Arup Kumar Mishra. Am I audible, Dr. Arup?
Yeah.
Yes. So we would like to know the Assam Energy Development Agency,
Yeah.
to what extent it's in support of the e-mobility in the state.
Look, e-mobility sector is actually looked by the Guwahati Smart City project. We have a good project team in Guwahati Smart City, and most of our employees, engineers and members from AIDA, we are part of that particular project.
Okay.
So my friend from Kerala has spoken about e-waste to power generation.
Yeah.
Similar projects and e-mobility projects, etc., are on the anvil. So AIDA is very much part of that particular team. From our side, as a whole, we have not taken. We are now restricted to only rooftop solar, some wind monitoring studies, biogas plant, and your small and micro tidal power project. These are the four major areas we are now operating. But yes, we are part of the project.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Dr. Arup. Mr. Balakiran? Hello.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
यही नंबर डाल लूं तुम्हारा उसमें.
So yeah, I would request Mr. Yogesh to please put the mic in mute. Yeah. So sir, so before we end this virtual energy summit, which is the first ever virtual summit on energy and urban landscape, would you like to give any remarks before we end this summit?
I would like to mention one more initiative which has been taken up by government of Kerala, wherein lot of government vehicles are being are using rented vehicles in various for various purposes. So recently, last month, 7th March, government has come up with a government order which says that all the government officers can take up electric vehicles on wet and dry lease, and it has come up with detailed regulations and terms and conditions on how to do it. So we have identified Enert as a nodal agency, which is also tying up with the EESL, the central PSU, to give the electric vehicles on wet lease and dry lease. And we have also given, we have also finalized the pricing for that, and we have identified 3 vehicles. So Hyundai Kona and Mahindra E-Verito and Tata Tigger EV. So that also is a very, very impressive step which has been taken up by the government of Kerala, and we intend to move all the conventional vehicles to electric vehicles, especially in the government sector. And the lease conditions have also been made very, very simple. So the Enert has already gone for tendering of various components and various project initiatives in this regard. So if Smart City or any other government office wants to take vehicles on tender, they need not actually procure them. So they can talk to Enert Kerala, who will be licensing with EESL, and take any of these 3 vehicles on lease at a nominal pricing of, I believe, 22,000 for dry lease and 40,000 for wet lease. That is, wet lease basically includes driver. So again, this has been one of the initiatives because government is actually targeting 10 lakh electric vehicles by 2022. So which is again an ambitious target which has been put forth before us. And these vehicles will actually help us doing that. In fact, the project which we are coming out electric autos in Smart City, we are putting up 15 autos, but that is to serve as a model for most of the other autos to also turn green. The aim is actually to have 50,000 of the electric autos to be plying on Kerala roads by 2022 is the target which has been given by the government of Kerala.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Just wanted to know what is the challenge you face in this conversion from the conventional transport to the green and clean transport?
mindset.
So major. Are you asking me, Saurabh?
No, sir, please.
Yes,
Yeah,
Mr. Bal.
Saurabh. So the major difficulty which we are facing now is government has come up with the different guidelines on how to do the registration procurement of these electric vehicles. In fact, Smart City has already taken up e-auto projects from Kerala Automobiles Limited. The project is called the e-auto is called Kerala Neem G. And our e-rickshaw is from Kinetic. It is called Kinetic Safari Smart. So all these are being will be coming on board very soon. But the main issue is they have got 2 to 3 hour full charging limit, and they can fly for 8 hours, but for around 150 to 200 kilometers, depending on the terrain. The problem which we are facing now is not the procurement but the EV charging points. So for that reason, I think there needs to be a definite plan for setting up various EV charging points. In fact, another director I was just discussing, he said that 130 points have already been located across the state of Kerala, and they are actually setting up EV points. And we ourselves are setting up EV points in 3 major points in smart city area also, so that the vehicles which we are giving to the beneficiaries, most of them are women, can actually do the charging within the city itself. I mean, they can do one charging at their home, but if at all they want to have more, they get more demand, they can charge on the road as well.
Okay. Thanks for sharing those input. Dr. Arup, any inputs you would like to give before we end this session?
No, it's okay. Thank you. I have already. Yeah.
So, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Balakiran, and also Dr. Arup Kumar Mishra, and also Mr. Arup Kumar Mishra from Assam, Balakiran from Kerala, and Mr. Yogesh Kumar from the state of Uttar Pradesh. I thank each and every speaker for joining this virtual summit and giving their expertise and deep insights about the subject in terms of energy, e-mobility, and renewable energy, and also the urban landscape. Thank you very much. With this, we would sign off for this National Energy Summit, India's first ever summit on energy and urban landscape, presented by Greenco Group and organized by Elets Technomedia. Thank you so much, each and everybody.
Thank you.